for more Lesbo smoothie. That's a good start to the video. I mean, he is gonna talk about smoothie some more, but I'm pretty sure the Lesbo part is just, I don't know, two women touching each other. I guess that's the reason why he said that. But well, I shouldn't say how you know dumb that is. Yeah, let's start up the show. Well, I don't really have anything else to bring up from last time. Do you have anything you want to bring up? Meme Spice? Nothing? Anything at all? That he contradicted himself in the editing again? Right, when he showed the. Let's just play that thing. He said last video, that's the word, last video that he contradicted himself and that they didn't show pudding and Sanji meat, which they technically did, but I mean, I think he just wants it in like a, what did I say there? Linear timeline, like in went to the ship, went off the ship, met pudding, so on and so on. But I mean, in this scenario, if he did realize that and he still complains that, I would be more annoyed because, you got what you want. You just didn't get what you want, apparently. I guess his point is that she tells us we don't see it. I mean, we are technically seeing it here, where they first met. See, in a little garden with a topiary, and I don't remember what that's called, but whatever. Being a little pedantic, I guess. Whatever, let's just start the video now. Unless you have any more things to bring up.
Do anything. And he forces his dickbag family into a position of,
No?
yeah, you go do it or they die. LOL. It's beneath me, Sanji-sama. Like, surely, there was a better way to write this where Sanji doesn't come off as a dick against his own crew, right? We don't care if he's a dick to his family at this stage, right? As his crowning moment. But against his own crew? This isn't the penultimate owning of the Vinsmokes that it's played up to be.
I mean, I already said it before, but really, how does he not get it? Oh, I didn't say this last time, but even if, no, not even if, since he did free them and the rest of the Big Mom pirates are still around, they're still on a hit list. So inevitably, they would have to join forces, and I'm pretty sure that little the thumb pointing in that direction, is, him saying to go help because, the numbers and obvious strength advantage. It's pretty obvious. How dare he use his bad family? What a dick. It's not that he used his bad family. It's the fact that Sanji just, quote unquote, well, he did say, leave the Straw Hats to die, but no, that's not what happened. He's just getting reinforcements. I, I, I'm repeating myself, but I really don't know how he didn't think that.
Hey, little one. Wawa's here to help you fly through your day with options that fit your life, like curbside.
Let's take a moment to separate ourselves from where we are in the plot to talk about Germa in general. I don't know what Oda's original vision was for these characters. Somewhere down the line of this arc's writing,
Gonna put the work on that time signature, Dritz. I guess this is gonna be the flashback proper, since he barely even talked about the flashback. And oh boy, that section. Oh God, please no more Nazi footage. You know what?
I don't know what Oda's original vision was for these characters. Somewhere down the line of this arc's writing, I'm convinced that something had to have changed. What Oda's left with them is not pretty, and it's hard for me to imagine this was his exact vision. Let's start with Reiju. Reiju is a bland, generic character whose only function in the arc is to suck Sanji off and tell the audience numerous times that Sanji's the kindest person who has ever lived, and oh my god, look how kind he is. That's all she does.
I mean, she also saved Luffy, not to mention helped the Straw Hats get away, and was the only person that was relatively kind to Sanji, apart from Sora. So, you know what? I think he's right here. Gross? What, is it gross that Dritz is saying stuff out of his ass? That is pretty much incorrect? Suck Sanji. It's a turn of phrase, not a literal part for part meaning. I mean, oh yeah, it's still a little bit gross. Still gross. Still a little bit gross. Ew.
Person who has ever lived, and oh my god, look how kind he is. That's all she does. I've already talked about the Zeph and handcuff stuff, and how her character actions don't really make any sense, but to add on to that, I'll say that I think there is a very obvious character arc for Reiju written into Sanji's backstory that never comes to fruition. When we look at Sanji's backstory and Reiju's actions in general, it becomes apparent that Reiju is a bit of a coward. She only sides.
Oh man, cowardice, not intelligence. You know, 3 against 1 or 3 against 2 technically, but you know Sanji's freaking dead in the water. That's just incorrect. That's how. I'd remember her being a coward. It's not cowardice, it's being smart. She's, well, as far as I can tell, as strong as the rest. And since pretty much it's her against 3 other people, it's not coward. I mean, why would she defend the worst person in the entire, the most useless and despised person in the entire kingdom, I guess is the right word. Like, here I can say, well, sure, there's some parts you can say is cowardice. What I'm not trying. I don't know why I'm trying to justify what Dritz thinks, but at least here it's somewhat justifiable compared to the other slop he's been saying. Wait, didn't Reiju specifically said she doesn't want to go against 3 of her 3 brothers? Yeah, I'm pretty sure she did say that. Maybe that is just what she said. I don't remember any specific reasoning, but
It becomes apparent that Reiju is a bit of a coward. She only sides with Sanji in private, so she won't get bullied by her siblings in public. She hasn't taken the step forward in totally siding with Sanji. I don't blame her for her actions, I'm simply pointing them out. I think it's more interesting this way. The obvious character arc then, with Reiju, is that she should finally stand up against her brothers, against Judge, in order to protect Sanji and redeem herself for all the time she stood by silent.
Alright, he does know that they literally can't go against Judge's orders. She was a kid? Eh. In One Piece, children characters has been written with quite the intelligence. So, I don't know kids act like that. I guess. I mean, not I guess. True, but I wouldn't call this more childish. A childish sense of insecurity? Rather than her just being smart against the, 3 against 1. Not to mention helping the most useless person and hated person on the kingdom, but it's a weird ground where you have to say she's being a kid to she's just being smart. Oh God, is he gonna talk about Yanji? I hope he talks about Yanji because where's this Yanji trash coming from? And why does he think that Ichiji, Niji, or Ichiji and Reiju? Well, no, he said Ichiji and Niji were the strongest. I bet he will say trash, and that's it. Is likely. I'm not gonna lie.
Reiju ends this arc in the exact same position as she was before it, and it feels like a big lost opportunity. There are also mechanics mentioned by Reiju.
Oh, not to mention that she also wants the Germa to die along with her. So yeah, there's also that.
In this arc that really don't go anywhere. Reiju tells Sanji that Judge has programmed into her and the Vinsmokes the inability to disobey his commands. But there is never an instance of Judge ordering them or her to do anything. This is all lost potential, especially when it comes to Reiju. She technically doesn't have her freedom. If you look at her from that perspective, maybe in some world there could have been a plotline where Sanji, in the same way that Reiju freed him, also frees her from her shackles. That seems pretty good to me. Reiju also has a questionable history with Sora that is never expanded upon, and it definitely should have been. This would have allowed a deeper relationship between her and Sanji.
That they have the same mother? Because, okay, he brought up the biological robotic slaving, them being slaves to Judge part, but he seems to not know that their personalities are quite diluted. So she wouldn't really open up her feelings. I don't know, it's kind of interesting what Oda did with the Vinsmokes, I should say. Interesting what he did with the Vinsmokes because they're pretty flat characters, but they have at least one distinct personality trait. But with Reiju, she was shown bawling for Sanji, so maybe it's extreme emotions that really get the emotion parts taken in there. So I don't know. It's a little interesting writing thing.
Since they seem to be the only two out of all of the children that cared about their mom. I can't help but assume that one of the reasons why more wasn't done with Sora is because of some world-building nonsense regarding where she comes from, why she's with Judge, her potential relationship to the Marines, and all that crap. Oda's OCD-like compulsion for withholding...
Hold up. What? OCD. Let me look up what OCD means. obsessive compulsive disorder. Right, because that's what's happening. Tritz, you don't say this type of stuff. Especially in current year.
Where she comes from, why she's with Judge, her potential relationship to the Marines, and all that crap. Oda's OCD-like compulsion for withholding world-building information way past the point of where it's most valuable is a big issue with One Piece that is getting more and more noticeable as the series heads towards its end.
Great. This is kind of like the why aren't devil fruits explained argument. Like, sure, you could say it could be explained then or now, but why then or now? Why would it be better then or now than later? Because please explain to me what you want from this. Also, I would to think that Sora would be nice to all her children, but that's a presumption.
Piece that is getting more and more noticeable as the series heads towards its end. This is the consequence of basically having everything, and I mean everything, seemingly connect back to one plot point in the Void Century. The Vinsmokes were never...
Huh? Wait, is Sora connected to the Void Century? Excuse me? Did you know that, Meme Spice? Did you even hear any theories about this? Or anything at all? Meme Spice? Okay, I don't think he's here. I guess I'm writing solo for now. Where is this coming from, Dritz? Because what part of Sora's story? That came out of my mouth. Interesting. Sora's story. Whatever. What part of Sora's story implies that she's connected to the Void Century?
Only connect back to one plot point in the Void Century. The Vinsmokes were never going to be more relevant and in focus in the story than they were in Whole Cake.
Oh, so you think her story is going to be expanded / included in the Void Century's plotline? Alright. So it's pretty much baseless. I gotcha. Either that or he's just not explaining himself, and this is just a huge presumption.
Vinsmokes were never going to be more relevant and in focus in the story than they were in Whole Cake. There were a lot of opportunities to dive into different directions that didn't even necessitate giving up the answers that Oda desperately wants to hold on to until he feels like answering them. There was a lot of stuff that was still up in the air that he didn't need world building for. Such as, what is Reiju's history? Reiju has all of her emotions, unlike her brothers. How did she get away with that? The quote-unquote emotionless state.
I don't know. Oh, you're back? Did you hear me when I said about the Sora being connected to the Void Century plotline thing? Yeah, you didn't hear it? Well, I'll just play it back. It's fine, I guess.
Reiju also has a questionable history with Sora that is never expanded upon, and it definitely should have been. This would have allowed a deeper relationship between her and Sanji, since they seem to be the only two out of all of the children that cared about their mom. I can't help but assume that one of the reasons why more wasn't done with Sora is because of some world building nonsense regarding where she comes from, why she's with Judge, her potential relationship to the Marines, and all that crap. Oda's OCD-like compulsion for withholding world building information way past the point of where it's most valuable is a big issue with One Piece that is getting more and more noticeable as the series heads towards its end. This is the consequence of basically having everything, and I mean everything, seemingly connect back to one plot point in the Void Century.
Yeah, that. How is this gonna go anywhere to the Marines, let alone the Void Century? Well, apart from the comic book character Sora fighting the Germa. I mean, that's interesting. Maybe it's a coincidence or something, but what question mark? Yeah, what indeed? Because apparently Oda's OCD-like mentality of withholding information means it's because this is all this withheld information that Oda's OCD like mentality is, gonna lead back to the Void Century. This one plot point, not any other plot points, not any other plot points that could or could not, that is or isn't completed slash will come up later on in the story. Just this one plot point. I think he says that because he's associating way too much with Sora because he is, doesn't like Sora and was wondering why is she so bad? Because Sora's a character I should like, right? She hasn't done anything, and she's supposed to be important, so I'm guessing she just has some story relevance later on in the story, and Oda's just withholding that information. She is just good mom, yes, but the what's her name? The name. Everyone knows the comic book hero Sora in the West Blue, or was it the North? In the North Blue. So I'm just saying, the North Blue Sora from the comic book has the same name as Judge's wife, Sora. So I'm guessing he thinks that Sora might have more information or more importance later on because of that. At least that's what I think. That's what I think he's trying to say. That's about it. Because we don't really get any information about Sora find smoke in the Navy. This is gonna be awkward.
The Vinsmokes were never going to be more relevant and in focus in the story than they were in Whole Cake. There were a lot of opportunities to dive into different directions that didn't even necessitate giving up the answers that Oda desperately wants to hold on to until he feels like answering them.
What answer?
There was a lot of stuff that was still up in the air that he didn't need world building for. Such as, what is Reiju's history? Reiju has all of her emotions, unlike her brothers. How did she get away with that? The quote-unquote emotionless state of the Vinsmoke seems to be a key point for why Judge is hyped about them. Even though he doesn't show any signs of malice towards Reiju, which makes you wonder even more,
why would he? He doesn't know anything about Reiju. And plus, I'm guessing they're just emotionless killing machines. But I guess, well, for starters, Yonji, Ichiji, and Niji have some sort of they have reactions to beautiful women, so that's obviously emotional, and their own single emotional traits where like Ichiji is a more serious character, Niji is a more uh, ego, more as a bigger ego, I guess, and Yonji being more of a hothead. Well, I'm guessing he didn't really think that she can act. No, I think that's her. Oh, you mean the point about Judge not suspecting Reiju having emotions? No, I think they have some emotions, just that they don't really have empathy and the such. Because I mean, they have emotions. They react to stuff uniquely to themselves. So uh, I'm saying they specifically have emotions. It's just they have uh, no remorse and are killing machines in that sense. Hopefully, I conveyed what I'm trying to say.
Even though he doesn't show any signs of malice towards Reiju, which makes you wonder even more, why the hell does he even care about them being emotionless if it doesn't play a factor into how he treats them? Reiju
Well, like I said, they're emotional killing machines. It's best that they don't get emotional over human lives.
is just as favored as the others, if not more so. And Judge would have
More so? Question mark? Is it because we keep seeing Reiju with Judge? Because that's not explained. No, because he's not going to explain that point.
treated Sanji well if Sanji was strong. His emotions didn't matter, so what's the big deal? Speaking of, Reiju comments multiple times about how her brothers are emotionless monsters. The story and Oda straight up lie about this, in more ways than one as well. So the Vinsmokes
Well, I already explained this.
are supposed to lack empathy, pity, or sadness, stuff like that, pussy emotions. The idea behind them is that they are supposed to be perfect soldiers. Yet, when Reiju is attacked by Big Mom, and when Judge is beat, both Yonji and Niji cry out in concern and fear for their safety. They care about Reiju and Judge. Huh? What happened to lacking
Oh, so caring about their strongest comrades. Wait a minute. He has issues with Reiju crying over Sanji, but those two. Oh, well, it's kind of consistent. Now that I say that out loud, but nevertheless, they were still worried about the strongest members and the leader of the Germa. So, it's, I don't know why I should explain this.
all of those emotions? Everyone except for Ichiji has emotions they shouldn't. Ichiji is the closest thing to a perfect soldier that we see in the arc, and even then, he might not be so perfect either because there are lots of instances where there are thought bubbles around him, where he's looking at Sanji, and it could be implied that he's thinking stuff that's positive and could be emotional depth, but we don't know yet. Oda does a very bad
Oh, so he might have emotions. Well, whatever.
job of showing the audience that the Vinsmokes are what he says they are. Here's a question for you. What's the difference between the Vinsmokes and any other villain in the story? Alright, so let's say
Their child. Wait a minute. Why is he using manga Yonji and anime Ichichi and Niji? Whatever. Because they're child experimented soldiers that are family to the strongest nation in the North Blue. That's why the difference. Oh wait, we're comparing and contrasting now? Come on, Dreads! They're different characters! They're made to be killing machines. Yes, they're made to be killing machines. I mean, if you want to be pedant... No, not even pedantic. If you want to be so minute in each character, then yes, they are different, but you're looking... He's going to look so shallow with these character traits. He's gonna be so shallow with these character traits. Oh wait. Also, on things not being explained, Dritz, you tried comparing Sanji to pretty much the entirety of Water 7 and Annie's lobby arc. So don't give me that bullshit. You overanalyze. And apparently you can't, analyze here because apparently there's contradicting evidence.
Are what he says they are. Here's a question for you. What's the difference between the Vinsmokes and any other villain in the story? Alright, so let's say that I hide the identities of Yonji, Niji, and even Ichiji, without Oda lying about them with other characters' dialogue. Would you be able to tell by their actions, their words, what Oda's trying to convey? Or would you just assume these guys are your average villains and maybe Ichiji doesn't like to talk that much? Even when the Vinsmokes are at the table and are unconcerned for their life, if I put Luffy, or Zoro, or Dofi, or Lucci, or Croc in that situation, is anyone...
What? I don't know about Croc or Lucci, but... Yeah, the others. Because they're usually put in that situation. I don't... They don't have much character traits. But they have some character. And apparently that's an issue, since he apparently likes... apparently likes to... a white crocodile. It's because he's a murderer. Like those three, yeah? Pretty much that. He is pre-time skip? Yeah, but they have the same character, question mark? I think he's going to say that. Let me just go back a little bit. So is Crocodile bad? I don't know what he's going to bring up, but whatever it is, I just hope he explains himself.
The Vinsmokes are what he says they are. Here's a question for you. What's the difference between the Vinsmokes and any other villain in the story? Alright, so let's say that I...
Also, he says any other villain in the story, which is... I don't know what word I should say, but you're just wrong. I'll just stick with you're wrong, because Foxy and Walpole are nothing like a Crocodile or Daz Bones. Hell, even a Katakuri to a NL. Well, most of Katakuri's... Well... They're kind of similar, but one just cares about more than himself compared to NL, but yeah, you know what I meant. Apart from Katakuri trying to hide his emotions for the betterment of his family, they're kind of similar when I think about it. They're pretty... They're kind of selfish, happy-go-lucky, but with Katakuri, he put up a mask to save his precious family. It is interesting how the stuff works.
Says they are. Here's a question for you. What's the difference between the Vinsmokes and any other villain in the story? Alright, so let's say that I hide the identities of Yonji, Niji, and even Ichiji, without Oda lying about them with other characters' dialogue. Would you be able to tell by their actions, their words, what Oda's trying to convey? Or would you just assume these guys are your average villains and maybe Ichiji doesn't like to talk that much? Even when the Vinsmokes are at the table and are unconcerned for their life, if I put Luffy, or Zoro, or Dofi, or Lucci, or Croc in that situation, is anyone going to call them out on their lack of care or like super fear?
Alright,
Do you...
I didn't hear about the Dofi. We get to see Dofi in a life or death situation when he was young, so we obviously know that he would react differently. So apart from Luffy, uh no, this is bad. Dritz, you're not making the point you're trying to make, Dritz.
Luffy or Zoro or Dofi or Lucci or Croc in that situation, is anyone going to call them out on their lack of care or like super fear?
For Zoro, it's a interesting thing because if he dies for his captain, he would kind of react similarly, but in that scenario, Zoro would act similarly because he would do something like, "If I die here, then this is as far I was. If I die here, this is as far as I was supposed to go." Something like that, like the some sort of destiny and like fate type dialogue. While when he was about to get shot up in his introduction arc, he said something. No, he said like he still has. Okay, I don't remember what he said, but he was very concerned about dying and needing to stay alive for Kuina's sake, and so on and so forth. So it depends on the situation, but yeah, Dritz, you're not making a good point here. Which leads into this dialogue in which he doesn't understand or notices the subtle personalities of each of the Vine Smokes, Vin Smokes. Not to mention how, you know, this how this scenario was applied to other characters that he listed off. So I have to say, Dritz is being pretty shallow here.
Would you be able to tell by their actions, their words, what Oda's trying to convey? Or would you just assume these guys are your average villains and maybe Ichiji doesn't like to talk that much? Even when the Vinsmokes are at the table and are unconcerned for their life, if I put Luffy, or Zoro, or Dofi, or Lucci, or Croc in that situation, is anyone going to call them out on their lack of care or like super fear? Do you expect them to get emotional? No.
Yes. I don't know about Crocodile, but everyone else, yes. They have some sort of personality in that situation that I can say that they would do, potentially. So is Crocodile bad? You didn't type that again. I'm just trying to answer that question you brought up earlier. No, Crocodile isn't bad. It's just that he would have the same type of reaction in that situation, which is I don't know if he would. What is that?
Rolling Stone is raving about Prey. It's unexpected and exhilarating. It's freshly.
What is that?
So originally,
What was
in this
that?
part of the script, do you expect them to get emotional? No.
Who is
So
that? Brago or something? What was that supposed to say? What the fuck was that? I think he's trying to say that he doesn't care, or that they don't care, or something. Nevertheless, Dritz doesn't really know what he's saying here because we don't really get any character. We get some character, but we don't get a lot of character with the four. And I think he doesn't realize that they don't have a lot of character. They intentionally don't have a lot of character. And he's getting confused on the quote unquote character breaking moments, which can be easily explained like it did before. So he's both saying that he wants more character out of the Vine Smokes, but he doesn't like that they have character because it contradicts what the story's saying. At least that's what I'm getting from this segment. Did it replay it?
So originally, in this part of the script, I was going to take a guess at some of the difficulties that might have been in the background with Oda in the conception of the Vinsmokes. And my guess was that Oda ran into creative issues with not wanting three brothers to be carbon copies of each other that all acted the same. Instead, choosing
What? Yeah. Why are you guessing, Dritz? This is very unproductive and extremely dishonest and not fair. Why do you have? Why you have to be as objective as possible? I think I'm using that word right, but nevertheless, you can't just say you presume and call it bad because that just makes you sound like you don't know what you're talking about, which he doesn't.
to make them different from one another each other that all acted the same. Instead, choosing to make them different from one another, thus resulting in a more inaccurate and inconsistent writing. But as luck would have it, as I was writing this, an interview came out which gives an answer as to why there are multiple brothers.
All right.
Sanji was only supposed to have one brother, and this isn't confirmed, but I'm going to assume
Wait, what?
that the
Oh, damn it! I was gonna say, oh, he's gotta fact his theory, but never mind.
was only supposed to have one brother, and this isn't confirmed, but I'm going to assume that the one brother that was supposed to exist is Ishiji, since he's the most important of them all. But Oda changed his mind.
Why?
He saw that his
Why is he most important? And why do you presume it was gonna be Ichiji? Whatever.
the most important of them all. But Oda changed his mind.
Oh yeah, I see why he's the most important because he had the longest time tussling with Katakuri, I guess.
He saw that his daughter liked a series called Osumatsu-san, and in an attempt to get his daughters to like One Piece, he made multiple iterations of the brothers to catch their eye. For those that don't know, I'll bring you up to speed. It's a known fact that Oda's daughters don't really like One Piece at all, and this is something that's always kind of irritated him. So it makes sense that he would do this. It's all
Yeah, this is pretty scummy. Not to mention, where's this gonna lead? Like, he rewrites his manga to fan service his daughter. I mean, okay. I don't. Well, he thinks these guys are worse character off for Sanji not having one brother. So what can I say?
and this is something that's always kind of irritated him. So it makes sense that he would do this. It's also kind of funny too, because it's like, this is going to be the deciding factor for his kids to read 1,000 plus chapters of a story. It's endearing in a way. A man trying to get his daughter's attention is pretty cute to me, although it does seem to have come at a cost, and an unnecessary one, which is the Vinsmokes as a concept. All Oda had to do was just stick the writing to, get the message across, and nothing, the numbers wouldn't.
Even if, how do you think this one character was gonna be, decent? You presume it was gonna be better. It's not like, well, of course he thinks it's bad, but does he think that one brother's gonna be good? Do you think he's just gonna be, you think he's just going to be Ichiji, but just Ichiji and no Reiju or Ichiji something or something? Ichiji could just still be Ichiji and no other sibling. So I don't know what he's trying to. Would you call him sexist, Dritz? No, he's calling. He just called Zoro sexist. He didn't really say Oda was sexist, right? I don't think you care about Oda, Dritz. No, I think he cares about Oda a little bit, just a little bit. But who wrote Zoro? Hey, Drit said something about Zoro being jaded because Kuina died, therefore he sexist. So, and it's just his character is what he's saying. Not like Oda wanted to have a sexist character. Well, at the very least, he's specifically said that Oda wanted a representation of sexism for him. Look, I'm not saying just because he's a sexist character doesn't mean he said Oda is sexist. I'm not trying to say that. Nor is Dritz. So, that's not what anyone's saying.
Wouldn't have mattered, but here we are. Let's head to the big man himself, Judge. Judge agreed to this marriage business because he thinks partnering with Big Mom will finally allow him to conquer the North Blue. Fair enough. Judge also says that he didn't want to send one of his sons to get married to Big Mom's.
Fully skip them? Fully skipped who? You mean the sons? I'm pretty sure he said his piece that they don't have character and they have contradicting character. Well, it's not fine, but I think he said his piece. And I think I know what he's trying to say about them? Question mark.
Fair enough. Judge also says that he didn't want to send one of his sons to get married to Big Mom's people because he doesn't like them. And that's when he thought of Sanji. The Vinsmoke, as we learn, from the start, never intended to honor the marriage. Their genius plan was to kidnap Pudding and use her as leverage against Big Mom to force her to help the Vinsmokes conquer the North Blue. If the Vinsmoke planned on dipping anyway and were going to run away from Big Mom, why did it matter who was involved in the marriage? Also, did Judge really think using one of her daughters as leverage would force Big Mom to do what he wants, even though he believes her to be crazy? If so, alright. The Vinsmokes never make a move on Pudding in their game of leverage that they were trying.
I'm just thinking of something to say. Hey, wasn't Reiju spying on Pudding? You know what? Maybe he's gonna bring that up. And Dritz questioned why. Let's see if he brings up the Pudding points. The Reiju points.
Trying to play, which seems extra. Smokes never make a move on Pudding in their game of leverage that they were trying to play, which seems extra stupid. If you thought capturing Pudding was going to work before, there's no reason you wouldn't think capturing Pudding once things fell apart the Tea Party also wouldn't work. If anything, there's more reason to capture because that'd be your only potential power play of leaving Totland alive. The Vinsmokes don't know that Pudding is actually one of Big Mom's trump cards as well, so it probably would have worked out if they had captured her, but that doesn't happen. Additionally, the Vinsmokes also never make a move on Nami during the arc, even though there's a scene between the Vinsmokes where they talk about negotiating a trade for Nami, and it's obvious they all have an interest in her. All of the brothers, Ichiji included, get hard eyes for her when she shows up with Luffy.
Yeah, this is kind of bad, since, first off, they have priorities, so getting Nami is, bottom of the rung of priorities. He didn't bring up Reiju yet, and I don't know why, because it's could have, but whatever. I guess he just didn't want to bring it up as a, theory or something.
I would not be surprised if this was yet another drop plotline. In an alternate universe, maybe Nami.
What do you mean drop? They were in the middle of a wedding. They had to fight off Big Mom. When did they have both the time nor the... Oh, whatever. Why is this a drop plot? Why would they go out of the way to get one girl for themselves when their father just... Considering they're directly loyal to Judge and they have a plan, and this is really out of the way, getting this one girl.
This was yet another drop plotline. In an alternate universe, maybe Nami, Pudding, both maybe, were supposed to be kidnapped or in trouble from Germa, and Sanji was supposed to come save the day. Another potential drop plotline includes Judge's secret. When the Vinsmokes are sleeping the night before the tea party, we see a shadowed panel of Judge where his eyebrows are hidden. In Judge's regular outfit, his forehead is always hidden. The Vinsmoke children also have reversed eyebrows. This panel and the eyebrows comment led to a common idea that Judge, for some reason, was hiding his eyebrows and that they probably look like...
Who cares? It's because Dritz cares. Therefore, dropped plotline. I mean, someone cares. So if someone cares, I guess you should bring it up or something. But what's the argument here?
That Judge, for some reason, was hiding his eyebrows and that they probably look like Sanji's, who wasn't supposed to be affected by genetics. At that point in time, some people also thought that maybe Judge was a three-eyed. No real reason why. People just saw Pudding and Judge hiding a spot where a possible third eye could exist, and they were just like throwing darts. Now, whatever the...
I mean, it could just be his character design. Or, some sort of mystery for later. I don't know what grounds you think this has, Dritz, but what type of dropped plot point is there that that Judge has reverse swirly eyebrows like Sanji? What? Why do you think this was gonna lead to a plot line?
Where a possible third eye could exist, and they were just like throwing darts. Now, whatever the truth may be is sort of irrelevant at this point, but it was there. And the moments passed and we've moved on. It's possible that Oda just pulled this idea out because it wasn't super duper obvious, but it could have been something he incorporated, but maybe he just didn't feel like it anymore.
As owner of Mint Mobile, I always...
So it's not an issue, or is it an issue or not an issue, Dritz? Because why are you bringing up possibilities and not expanding on it, Dritz? Yeah, it would be pretty cool if Oda said something about a dropped plot line, especially with the new stuff and like I forget what's called. Yeah, he's really just saying stuff. Because apparently, Judge not showing his forehead is a dropped plotline? Question mark. Yeah, this is such a nitpick. This is quite the nitpick because he didn't say anything about these 2 points, just that they were dropped plot lines because they weren't incorporated in the story yet? Question mark.
I also have another commentary about Judge. I think it's a weird choice for Oda to have Judge seemingly value more crude, ruthless emotions in his children while also radiating parental love and affection towards them. It's very obvious.
Because he wants his dream to succeed. It's his character. Freaking, Crocodile wanted Pluton and was big laughing maniacally over Luffy being. Oh, wait, no, not Luffy. Over Vivi dropping off that skyscraper. Why would he be so. Why would he be laughing at Vivi dropping to her death in that moment? Why is he showing such emotion there? He never laughed. Okay, he has laughed before, but not to mention it is his not siblings. That would be weird. It is his children, so I don't see why he. First off, I don't see why he shouldn't show some sort of emotion to both his kids and his super weapons. He's not an emotionless killing machine like his children, dog. So you're just complaining that Judge shows emotions?
To have Judge seemingly value more crude, ruthless emotions in his children while also radiating parental love and affection towards them.
Is he trying to say that this parental love is going to overwrite the programming in the Fine Smokes? Question mark. I don't. Why? What's? I don't. It's because he still cares about them. Whatever.
It's very obvious that the Germa backstory and the reason why the kingdom is forlorn is related to betrayal and emotions leading to their downfall, which is.
I don't know how that is obvious per se. I don't even know why they lost their title as Germa. I mean, as king, ruler. Why they lost their title as ruler of the North? Not. Okay, I'm forgetting what blue he's from. It's not the North Blue, was it? Oh, god damn it. He was from the North Blue, right? He's from the North Blue. Yeah, rulers of the North Blue. So, this is kind of out of nowhere, Dritz. I mean, this is on thin ice. Not thin ice. What's the phrase again? This presumption is. I mean, it could be that reason, but if this is based off of presumption, then what merit should I take from this? Especially when the story hasn't really addressed it. Their back story. Judge and Sora's backstory per se.
Emotions in his children while also radiating parental love and affection towards them. It's very obvious that the Germa backstory and the reason why the kingdom is forlorn is related to betrayal and emotions leading to their downfall, which is why Judge should be so desperate about his children not having them so that the past doesn't repeat itself. You'd also think that Judge himself would try to distance away from those emotions, a practice which you preach sort of thing. But he seems to care about his kids when things go according to his vision. I'm not saying he's a good parent because he's, really, really bad. It just doesn't make any sense that he cares so much. He didn't even.
It could just. I mean. Wait, what? Of course he would care. It's literally his. Well, maybe not his life work, but it is an important part of his life, these four and Sanji. So why wouldn't he care? Also, couldn't it just be a character contradiction on how, dictators care for their army? Yeah, dictators care for their army. It could just be that Judge tries to put himself as an emotionless killing machine, but under extreme situations, like here and at the wedding, he shows his true emotions out. Have you thought about that, Dritz? because he literally is human, unlike those four. So I don't know why him showing emotion at all is such a bad thing.
It just doesn't make any sense that he cares so much. He didn't even, like, he cared to the point where he didn't even want one of his kids marrying Pudding. Perhaps it would have made more sense for...
They're precious to him. Is that such a bad thing for someone to care about their family? Their super weapons? Why can't he care about his super weapons? Like, how is this a bad thing? And this is off of a presumption from Dritz, because he doesn't even he presumes that just because he values obedience and what did he say? That empathy. Let me play that back.
A practice which you children not having them until the kingdom is forlorn in his children's. I also have another commentary about Judge. I think it's a weird choice for Oda to have Judge seemingly value more crude, ruthless emotions in his children, while also radiating parental love and affection. Kingdom is so way bad. It just doesn't make any sense that he cares so much. He didn't even, like, he cared to the point where he didn't even want one of his kids marrying Pudding. Perhaps it would have made more sense for Judge to not care about any of them at all.
Crude and ruthless. Alright. Judge is human, so he would have some emotions. You can't just delete the emotions, those crude and ruthless emotions, like he did with his children. He also cares about his dream of taking over the North Blue again. So him dying here would just be his dream forfeit. Any other person in that scenario would also bawl their eyes out because they're about to die. And we brought up that since he values those ruthless and cruel and ruthless emotions, why would Judge also have to follow that notion? Especially since he's the king of this stuff. And why did he bring up a theory about the Germa losing the North Blue because they lack these emotions? Because he's bringing up a lot of presumptions in this part of the video. Yeah, I don't think I explained my point too well. Yeah, this might be a bad video. Oh well.
Outside of viewing them as really useful tools. The end result of Germa, like as an idea, and Judge specifically, by the end of the story should be that there's a 180 on their philosophy and they come to appreciate emotions once again.
Why would they have to do that? Oh, this is another presumption on Dritz's part. It's not what I want, therefore bad. Well, this is not what I want, therefore bad. Because, he could just have these characteristics and believe something else. Like how Katakuri likes donuts and laying on his back and just chilling, but he has to be some sort of ruthless killing machine and it's perfect superhuman for his family. It's not like people can believe something and have a character.
Result of Germa, like as an idea, and Judge specifically, by the end of the story should be that there's a 180 on their philosophy and they come to appreciate emotions once again. Judge comes off as stupid at multiple points. None worse than Judge stating and showing he doesn't trust Big Mom, only to be completely baffled, dumbfounded, and caught off guard at the tea party, where he cries like a bitch and goes on about there being honor among thieves and that he trusted Big Mom. But no, he didn't. Dude, the Germa aren't a difficult concept. And I'm not...
you brought it up, Meme Spice, that the Reiju thing. Reiju was infiltrating Big Mom's castle for pudding. I assume that's what you meant. The Reiju infiltration was to kidnap pudding. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I said something else about Reiju entering the castle. I don't think I think I said something about. I don't know what I said. Did I say anything about that? Apart from why Reiju. Because here, I have to agree with Dritz. There's some sort of contradiction here on why Judge said, okay, he didn't show it for some reason, but he did say that he did trust Big Mom's crew. And, him saying she was crazy. Directly saying that he didn't trust Big Mom per se. So, well, I may not have thought it through. So you bring it up leads me to say that Reiju was supposed to kidnap Pudding, but stuff happened and Reiju forgot and had to retreat to the Vine Smokes because the wedding was about to begin. Yeah, that's effectively a speculation. I guess Dritz has the edge here because he's saying we're speculating, we're over using speculation, we're trying to disprove what he says. But he's saying that in the speculation that the story is contradicting himself. Dritz has some sort of edge, but considering that he didn't bring up Reiju and how she may or may not be the operative to steal Pudding, I really don't have anything to say about this point other than Dritz just using speculation and not talking about Reiju in the chateau business. I guess I really don't have anything to say here. That's sad. I should have something to say here, but I don't really have anything to say. I don't really have anything to refute or add to this part of the video.
Not trying to minimize them either. They were a good idea. Not every good idea needs to be a complex one. I just don't understand how there are so many issues. This is simple stuff. Like, this once again comes back to Oda, his editors, and the drafting of Whole Cake. A majority of the stuff we're going over should have never made it to this point in time. If there was
wait, on that, then they could have used it, but written it better. Why couldn't it just be written better instead of not being used?
Any revision, any actual editing done by Oda, this entire arc feels like Oda spit out a rough draft of an idea and everyone just said, that's it! Stamp, sign of approval, boom, to production. Alright, listen. Look at Germa in their totality. They are supposed to be part of the theme that's intended to connect to Sanji. They are supposed to be what juxtaposes everything the arc tries to tell you. But the writing is all doo-doo butter. The Vince Milk children have emotions, which causes big issues in this arc and in the next one. Judge and the family ignore Sanji being stronger than them. Their logic doesn't make sense on any front. Reiju actively takes away from the stakes and tension of the arc, and most people only like her because she's hot Sanji. There are arguably several plot lines with them that went nowhere, and we aren't even done yet, because we'll be bringing up more stuff later when it comes to the Vince Smokes. But I want you to keep this question, or these questions in your mind as we continue. Are Germa good in any way? Do they contribute more positively to the arc than they do negatively?
That you just brought up two things because those two things contradict each other. Uh, yeah, they're pretty good. I'm not saying I like them per se, but I have no I have no issues with them. It's not like they're a detriment to the story, like you're trying to say. Yeah, they play their part good. I have a small liking to Yanji because of his stupid ability in that one scene in the anime where he was picking out giant grapes for this one panda kid, and then he just ogles a pretty lady that was walking by. Yeah, the Germa has. I don't think I have to say this, but Germa has pretty tight designs, and how the designs reference Judge. I guess I'm doing this now. Germa double 6E. Let's see here. Niji's Niji's suit here has like those belt patterns that Judge has. Belts, whatever they're called, that judges have. Oh, they all wear capes, but only the four have scars. And then Reiju, Ichiji, and Niji have one eye covered. Well, Reiju and Ichiji have one eye covered, but Ichiji and Niji have uh, eyewear. But in the flashback, Ni. Jesus, it's hard saying this in Japanese. Ichiji, Niji, Ichiji, Niji, Ichiji, Niji. Alright. In the flashback, Niji didn't have any eyewear, but it has one in the future. And, well, Yanji doesn't even have any eyewear or anything covering his face. It's it's interesting how many designs that they use off of each other and that are different. HEG doesn't have the skull with the double sixes on his belt, while Yonji and Niji do. It's interesting what Oda did with their designs. What the hell is this? I guess that's supposed to be Sora. And God, what the hell are you doing? I don't think I should be showing this on YouTube. Yeah, just look that back if you're interested. Well, also I gotta say that Ranger has to be the unique one, wearing effectively less the least. I just noticed that they got elbow guards. Uh, Reiju and Yonji have elbow guards. Do the rest have elbow guards? No, I just noticed that. They got the. Wait, no, they're just parts of the gauntlets. They have gauntlet covers. That's interesting. Yeah, the more you know. I don't know what's going on with this circle parts on Reiju's chest area. Just gonna have some sort of flair. Hey, maybe when we get more Sora backstory, just like what Drit says, we get to see like a. Yes, it's on. I have safe search on. Maybe when we get the Sora flashback that Dritz wants, we'll have that Oh, it was. Oh, it wasn't Niji. It was Ichiji that didn't have the eyewear. Yeah, whatever. Wrench green. What a weird thing to say. Wench green. Oh, would I be pulling out the stops with these character names? Oh, wait, so are there elbow pads or what? Because I thought there was just like gauntlet covers. Yeah, I just like this one. I'm doing a cool pose. Oh, I didn't see Sanji in the background. Yeah, this is pretty neat. I really like this. Anywho, that's enough. Back to the video.
Do you think this was a good execution of their idea, or is Sanji and One Piece bias being injected through the air ducts?
Also, what theme are they trying to say with this? I didn't get to say this, but what theme are they trying to say from this? Because he just says they don't follow the theme of the arc. What theme? He didn't even say there was a theme to the arc, so I don't even. Whatever.
Again, it's like poetry, so if they rhyme,
Ah,
every stanza kind of rhymes with the last one. Hopefully it'll work.
this moron having to put parallels on everything. He didn't even do this for Dressrosa, and everyone says Dressrosa is like.
You
I placed my heir upon the Iron Throne.
Why
and
is
all
this so special that he has to pull parallels from Enies Lobby and Water 7?
the dragons roared as one.
Most of his
It's time
problems is him pulling stuff out of his ass, trying to pull parallels to an arc that is sort of
you
similar,
might have
and him not understanding the characters, of course. But hey, that's a given.
The last one. Hopefully it'll work.
English doesn't understand most of these characters.
you might have noticed as we've gone through the arc, there's a not so subtle theme about how much of a kind person Sanji is. Reiju says that Sanji's the kindest person ever. Brook makes a speech to Big Mom about how kind he is. Luffy acts as if they knew all along Sanji would want to save his family because that's just the way he is, and he's always been like that, even though he's never done anything like that in the history of the story.
Now, you tell me if Dritz is lying here, Meme Spice. Just tell me he's lying here. I just want to know if anyone else thinks this. He kicked a guy's face to look handsome. Yeah, he did. But that didn't actually happen. It didn't happen, Meme Spice. Just tell me if he actually lied there, because I really want to know if he did lie. Because I don't. He did. He did lie. Are you sure? Because I don't remember any moment of Sanji being nice in the story. No place in the story at all. Not his. Yeah, no way he fed. Yeah, no way he did. He just went out of his way to feed a dangerous pirate named Geen of the. I presume. Oh, the Commodore pirate Don Krieg, his right hand man Geen, went out of the way to feed a guy that. No way did he try to sacrifice himself for Zoro on Thriller Bark. That was nice. Wait, that didn't even happen. What am I talking about? He didn't try to save Luffy several times. He didn't try to save the crew on Dressrosa. his his ideology of feeding anyone that's hungry. His his ide- he he literally said he believes that he should feed anyone that is hungry. So I don't know why he said that, because he's literally lying here. No way did he forget that notion. Of course he hates John Sanji. I would just hope if someone hates a character, they got, something to prove that they don't at least tell the truth. And not freaking, what did that guy said? Gaslight information. Yeah, gaslight information for not showing panels. I should really bring up that strong guy. I should actually take a screenshot of that when I think about it. Because that guy really just listed everything wrong with Dritz's The Downfall of One Piece videos. Pretty much all of his videos, considering I watched his, did 999, chapter 999, ruin Whitebeard's character. And he was just saying the dumbest stuff. Where is his name? Oh no, please tell me I can't find it. I wish I remembered. Whatever, I should look this up later, but there was a guy in the comments that really laid down the business to Dritz. Whatever. I'm pretty sure I said it in the Discord.
Acts as if they knew all along Sanji would want to save his family because that's just the way he is, and he's always been like that, even though he's never done anything like that in the history of the story.
This guy's a freaking
We know what
idiot.
Oda's going for. Sanji is different from his brothers. He has emotions and all that. I'm not going to try and make the case that Sanji isn't a kind person, because I think he is. I think everyone in the crew is kind as well. I don't think Sanji is special in this regard, though. To me, he's easily the biggest asshole in the crew. Sanji telling Jinbei to kill himself and actively arguing with Nami against helping the defenseless children on Punk Hazard.
First off, he's in the right here. I don't like how they translate it, since they don't use the word harakiri, which is meant to say honorable suicide. But I guess that's a me thing, maybe. I think they should have worded it better, since harakiri had a specific meaning, and just saying to just slice your belly open doesn't really convey the same message as harakiri. And here in the first downfall of One Piece, we said that they're trying to be considerate of the children because they're walking targets in a place that they don't know. And he even said specifically right here in this panel that this may be a hospital. So they could just easily be taking children that had no business. That had all reasons to be in this specific location. So, yeah, Dritz doesn't get these characters. He also forgets the story. And I say that because I presume he at least read the story once, because he's not disproving that argument at all.
Actively arguing with Nami against helping the defenseless children on Punk Hazard are two standout scenes which showcase what I mean. But
And I've got several scenes that show that Sanji may be the nicest person on the crew. I can't say definitively, considering Frankie just let in all those riffraff and ne'er-do-wells on Water 7 into his Frankie family, which is pretty cool. Maybe Frankie's the nicest person on the crew. Or maybe Brooke's the nicest person. They might be the least selfish person. Maybe they might be the nicest. Least selfish, nicest. They kind of go hand in hand, but whatever. Actually, maybe Sanji is the kindest person on the crew. Consider whatever. This is a different discussion.
I'm open to the idea of what the arc is trying to offer in regards to this abundance of kindness that Sanji allegedly possesses. The main vehicle of this kindness is the reason the Straw Hats stay in the arc, which is saving the Vinsmokes. But Sanji's motivations to save his family come out of nowhere. Sanji was never stressed or in a pickle after learning of the assassination plotline. For a brief period, Sanji was going to die with them. There's never a point that shows Sanji caring or struggling with a moral implication of letting them die. In fact, we get the opposite. Even if you want to argue the numerous scenes of Sanji saying he doesn't care about his family being lies, we don't get to see anything other than that, up until the point in time where Sanji says to Luffy that he cares. I think showing something would have been a good move, but that's not my real issue.
I can see where he's getting confused here, and specifically here, because Sanji conducts himself as a strong person that doesn't really show much emotion, show much show a very happy-go-lucky person. He doesn't really say his intentions, but he really is a kind person once the business once he just hates Sanji. I can't say he just hates Sanji. Oh, okay. I will say he just hates Sanji, but uh oh hell, Deaderex. I'm just saying my piece. Give me a moment. Uh, Sanji doesn't really openly show kindness, but he does show kindness where the where when he needs to. Like he isn't like some sort of super kind person, but if someone's in trouble, if someone needs to be fed, because he apparently forgot his
Given the rest
idea.
of his family, Sanji's kindness is leaps and bounds above them.
Yeah, because his ideology of feeding anyone that's hungry should be evident enough for Sanji being one of the kindest person on the crew. But I'm just saying Sanji doesn't really show that he really cares about everything. But when people are in trouble, he usually comes to their rescue. Like, it's just kind of his. It's kind of weird with his character since he's full of contradictions. Like, he openly mocks. I'm not mocks. He openly says stuff like, you can. He openly says that he doesn't care about something or someone, but when they're really in danger, he does try to save them. I'm trying to think of a moment in the story apart from Whole Cake, because
Either it's my connection or Leo, you sound a bit robotic.
can you understand what I'm saying now? Can you understand what I'm saying now? Hello, can you hear what I am saying now? Yeah, this is definitely on your end, Deaderex. Unless he's not here right now, in which case I'm just talking to the wind. Oh, he doesn't show apathy, but he really does care. That's the word I'm looking for. Apathy. He doesn't show apathy. Or is it called empathy? Probably both. But he really does care. Oh yeah, with Bon Clay. Uh, he had no reason to not finish Bon Clay off, but his belief. I forget what he said specifically, but well, like I said, he could have just finished Bon Clay off. He's an enemy, still active enemy, but he didn't finish him off because he's that nice of guy. Wouldn't say that particularly unique to Sanji, but at least he said that he wasn't going to kill Bon Clay. And since no one really dies in the story.
My
It's a
issue
grand
with the
event whenever
kind
there's a death.
Yeah. Ooh. Some fake out deaths as well, with like a Pell and Pagia and even Peckham's, and he has 3 fake out deaths. Peckham, yeah, that's his name, Peckham's. Dreads, I mean not Dreads. Dead Rex. Did you hear me what I said before?
Yeah, I changed up headphones, and now you're coming in clearer.
All right, all right.
It may have just been my headphones doing that for some reason.
in this theme is that there's always some kind of spin or angle to Sanji's actions, and never feels pure. Even at the apex of this plotline, when Sanji gets to confront Judge after the Straw Hats save them, and Judge asks Sanji why he did it, instead of saying something as simple as, "This was the right thing to do, so I did it," the angle of Sanji's kindness is changed to, "Yeah, well, I'm only doing this because Zeph would want me to. He's my real dad, you know, not you. And I can't stand to live in a way that my real daddy wouldn't like. I wouldn't do this without Zeph. Baka."
What? So you're telling me you don't like his reasoning because you don't like this moment because of Sanji's reasoning? I don't. This is pretty pathetic. I think he's only saying some of this stuff now because he really doesn't like Sanji. This notion is
Wow, he really has to try to put on a voice just to try to make that sound as bad as he wants it to.
that too. This notion of him not liking Sanji is clouding his bet. Well, first off, I don't think he understands most of the characters in One Piece. Secondly, he's not trying to understand Sanji because something, and so he's using. Well, he's just saying that this is bad because he doesn't like this moment.
It's a perfectly fine moment. He's pretty much, Zeph is essentially his father, and he's like, yeah, from the teachings of my father, not you, my true father, this is what you would have wanted me to do. I don't understand why Drizzt sees that as such a bad thing.
Because he doesn't like the moment. That's all I can say. He thinks it's bad, but it's not actually bad. So he doesn't like it, therefore it's bad. That's the only conclusion I can make. Because other characters have this sort of philosophy, not just in One Piece. And let's not forget what I said. He would feed anyone that is hungry. He said that in Baratier. Which was, it's the teaching he got from Zeph. So I don't know how he feels about that, if he ever remembers that notion. He doesn't get these characters. And now I'm about to say he doesn't like or get these characters.
I'm totally down with Oda making commentary on how awesome Zeph is and how he's Sanji's real dad, but I don't want that to conflict with the arc's themes or its attempt at a theme. Sanji's kindness doesn't come from Zeph. His chivalry does, as this arc demonstrated, and I'm sure there's some kindness in there. Sanji's learned a great deal from Zeph. Zeph's goated. But the story of Sanji's
I just said he would feed anyone that was hungry from whatever.
flashback tells us that he was kind before he met Zeph. Sanji was born a kind and good boy because of the actions of his mother, and just because that's how he is. That's what Reiju's scene in the medical bay establishes. It doesn't have anything to do with Zeph. Oda spent this entire arc gassing up this kindness stuff to then make it all Zeph focused and for Sanji to establish another suck my dick high ground again.
Why can't it be both? Why can't he just be a nice person from birth and Zeph nurtured his kindness? Whatever. Apparently it can't just be both because that conflicts with the theme that doesn't even explain. This guy sucks.
Against his family. This scene shouldn't have played out like this if we're being consistent. The person that should have been highlighted in this scene isn't Zeph, but Sora, in her gift to Sanji, his moral compass. If Oda really wanted to focus on the daddy stuff, he could have given it a shining moment with the cake plotline. Zeph doesn't belong here, and this scene ends up going against the message for me.
Cake plotline? Is he talking about?
What is he talking about?
No, please, Dritz. If this is going where I think it's going, the cake plotline, where, in Sanji's words, Zeph taught. Okay, to paraphrase, Zeph taught Sanji not to waste food. So apparently, that has nothing to do with Zeph. Sanji's ideals are not wasting food or using poisons. Because Sanji literally said that Zeph taught him not to waste food. And apparently he's saying that Sora should be the one to take the what's the word? Take the accomplishment of Sanji being nice for not wanting to poison Big Mom.
Is he forgetting how Sanji was introduced during the Baratie arc, and as a kid, he did kind of waste some food. When he was starving, he even had flashbacks thinking, "Look at all the food I've wasted."
Yeah, I didn't bring that up. Thank you for bringing that up. Yes, he definitely forgot that. Either that or he's intentionally not bringing it up, lying to our faces, just to denounce any sort of quality in the story.
I want to say there's a high chance he didn't revisit this arc at all when he was making this, and is just going off memory, and is only remembering the current stuff with Wano and stuff.
Why can't he say, suck my dick to his family, Dritz? Are you defending Germa, Dritz? No, he's trying to defend Sora. Or Sanji. Well, actually, he's trying to say Sora did all the heavy lifting and not Zeph. That's what he's trying to say, Meme Spice. This is horrible.
And this scene ends up going against the message for me. This isn't the biggest deal, but I thought I'd add some commentary on it.
What? This is... Well, he already doesn't like Sanji, so of course he doesn't think it's a big deal.
So let's move on.
Purdue University Global. Apply now.
This man's pathetic. Well, if you have anything to add on everything that happened before this moment in the story, I'm guessing now is a good time to say your piece.
I'm so baffled by all the comparisons he tried making to Water 7, when those are very two different situations.
Sanji baking.
Yeah, I also said that.
Because he's acting like Sanji did all this of his own free will.
Yeah. idea how he thinks that, but he did. Well, no, he specifically says that he's doing this, but he should have let Luffy and the gang help with the situation, even though he completely ignores the actual context of the story. He literally,
Like the fact that there's only a few Straw Hats there and they can't take on Big Mom's army with just a few Straw Hats?
not specifically that, but that Big Mom and most likely the Germa would slap the Straw Hats upside the faces if they ever tried to, get Sanji back.
Well, considering the crew consists of one boat full of people versus islands, islands, and islands of people,
A 50 set
the
of
odds,
50. Was it 50 or 30?
I want to say 30.
Whatever. 30. 30 island big archipelago filled with homies and born fighters and killers and
72 children of Big Mom, along with how many other fighters they have under their command.
So, yeah, Sanji's pretty reasonable in that situation. In this argument story.
I also recall Dritz being super mad that Sanji didn't really have a plan. His plan was to just tell them off, and then it escalated when they go like, "Hey, we also have these cards against you."
Chits does not understand the story.
You understand what he wants to understand, and it's to make them look as bad as possible.
I hope that's not true, and just that he's a freaking moron.
Well, considering how he's pulled Zoro is a sexist out from all the stuff he's done, it looks like he's just trying to make things as bad as possible.
I wish it isn't anything really malicious and just him being a freaking dumbass, but
Oh, come on. Remember, Brooks scores a win. Doesn't count because it was a gag fight.
yeah, that doesn't really help my argument, but I really don't want it to just be he doesn't like One Piece, and so he has to not like One Piece. Like, something happened in the pre-time skip, maybe even the post-time skip, that triggered something in his brain and was like, why isn't this good anymore? Why isn't this good anymore? Why isn't this good anymore? Is this bad? Am I liking bad content? Why do I have to like bad This is bad content. This is bad comedy. And then had to throw all of his affection toward this franchise away because apparently something in his mind told him to do so. But I just hope he just forgot how to understand the story. This is bad comedy. I need to work on my Leonard Nimoy. This is bad comedy. And not now.
Baking the cake is a big part of this arc. The rationale for Sanji doing something in this arc related to food was always pretty simple. We're in Totland, where everything is food. The princess character of this arc has food skills. Sanji is supposed to have skills related to cooking because of the Okama stuff, and Sanji, cooking is included in part of Sanji's backstory, and it's related to his mom. It all makes sense. Once upon a time, I was one of
This. All right, I'll wait a little bit before I say what I'm about to say, but
the people who said prior to this plotline happening that Sanji would be involved in baking the cake. And man, I thought I had it all figured out. I was patting myself on the back. Yay, I'm right. And because I was right, I was like, this is going to be a good idea. Thankfully, since that point in time, I obtained a bit of common sense. Just a bit, though. Sanji baking the cake is bad for a multitude of reasons. As a concept, even though baking a cake might make sense, using it to solve a problem and making it a focal point isn't cool, and it's not inherently rewarding. This is an action.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop the recording here. Uh, that's where I tap from this video. Did not bring up Zeph. Literally, the only thing that he said about his cooking skills. But he just said the dumbest shit I have ever heard.
We're in a food arc and there's cooking involved? Lame.
Yeah, I was really no, I was literally about to stop the recording here. And I still feel like I should stop the recording here. Because I don't know why I should continue listening to this guy speak. Being this biased. I'm trying to. This is me trying to emulate what Meme Spice has said in the B-list chats. I'm not gonna do my best here, but I'm gonna try. Fuck you! I would tap here. It ain't cool. He's a freaking child. A legit child. Go watch DBZ if you want stupid cool shit. Lol. Yeah. It's very petty. This is horrible. I I I
It
don't
also doesn't help that he was going like, I figured it all out, and then when it didn't go his way, it's bad.
I my heart goes out to the people that like Dritz's content because they're clearly as dumb as Dritz. And we need less dumb people in this world to advance as a society. Or at least make sure the smart people stay smart and let the dumb people have less influence in this world. It should be a crime. Okay, maybe not a crime, but there should be some sort of repercussions for having dumb people say this dumb stuff anywhere. Some sort of repercussion. I'm just flabbergasted. Flabbergast. The fuck? Oh. Man, fuck you, every million. I mean, when he watches this, he should know what I'm talking about. Oh my goodness. Why does he even like One Piece? Why does he even... What made him like One Piece? Because...
I don't know, and we'll never know because he deleted all his past videos.
That might be... yeah, on on the previous video, we brought up the worst stuff Dritz has done, or at the very least said, in these Downfall of One Piece videos. Yeah, that's going number one on the list. I believe, well, just from whatever I said in the previous episode, just put him deleting all 1 or 200 of his videos at the top of the list and just bracket everything down by one. Because apparently he really does not like One Piece if he's going to delete all that content. If so flippant about the stuff. I'm gonna need a moment for that, because that moment was not enough. I'll be right back. I'm just gonna get some water.
Okay. That's right.
Yes, I'm back. There wasn't. Uh, we ran out of water in this household, so I'm just gonna drink this naked protein tropical drink. Also, this is the last one in the fridge, so I'm gonna be rolling thirsty for the next few hours. Yeah, this made me considered my my viewing experiences with the media. I think I should something, but at the very least, I need to be more aware of what I'm watching, just so I don't have to end up as someone like a triggered or a dritz spouting the dumbest shit off of some dumb shit or literally stuff that they just made up on the spot or something.
I'm just still trying to figure out how do you like get mad at something you put in your own head. Like, oh hey, this should happen. Doesn't like now the story's bad. It's like how do you come to that conclusion in your own head?
They don't understand. Also, they don't like. Is they don't understand and they don't like. Especially, they don't understand what I presume would be easy to understand stuff. That's what gets me. He doesn't understand or is actively trying not to bring it up. The stuff that uh, counter his arguments. Either way, this is very bad, and I really hope something happens. I don't know what will happen, but if anything worse happens because of this, then it didn't happen, and that's just gonna make me a little bit sad. Not gonna lie, because this is disgusting. How he can use his own personal feelings, his own. I don't. Let's go with his own feelings in a topic like this. Whatever. I should really something. I'll just rewind it a little bit.
Focal point isn't cool and it's not inherently rewarding. This is an action adventure manga that has never focused on cooking really. It's a bit of a risk as a writing choice to make it so. But that's all it is. A risk. It could still work and it's Oda's job as a writer to make this plotline worth the investment of writing it. Unfortunately, we run into writing issues with the cake right away, and they only continue to spiral downwards as time goes on. The in-story justification for the Straw Hats baking the cake is that this cake is sold to them as the only way to stop Big Mom from chasing them. That's the only reason they agree to make it. The Straw Hats do not care about Big Mom rampaging, and they don't care about the well-being of the citizens of Totland. They aren't moved because of it.
But they do care about.
She's on the rampage to them.
Yeah, that's. But they also care about their friends' well-being. And if they somehow got away from Big Mom, then Chiffon and Pudding, not to mention other people, will get the short end of the stick. Although considering Big Mom was dying because she wasn't getting her cake, what would happen?
Well, she was fasting, but who knows how long it would take her for her to die.
Yeah. Big Mom had it rough. Not gonna lie. She's a freaking super monster with uncontrollable urges. At least, is he gonna talk about Big Mom? I just realized that. I didn't see a Big Mom section in this. Yeah, alright, there it is.
Like, I'm certain he has to talk about her. Like, if he doesn't, then that's just very, very odd.
Jeez. I already had like 3 tap out moments in the past 19 minutes. And I still dread what he's going to say about the Luffy versus Katakuri points. My energy is all the way low right now. Well, enthusiasm. I actually have a resurgence of energy because I didn't really eat anything for a while. So that's interesting. I mean, I had chips, but yeah, what you gonna do?
They don't even know. Only Pudding and Chiffon care about that. The logic here doesn't make sense in a vacuum, and it doesn't make sense with the writing that follows it. In a hypothetical, where the Strats bake the cake and give it to Big Mom, what is stopping her from continuing to chase them? What does the cake actually do? Once it's eaten, Big Mom's still gonna be pissed. The rest of her fleet will still be chasing them. There's no real precedent of Big Mom being incapacitated every time she gets what she wants from her hunger pangs or anything like that, so in a vacuum, the idea is still ass. And
She's still incapacitated though.
Not to mention, Sanji was trying to make it so they would. Do you not remember how Capone Gang Beige tried it?
No. I already brought up this point. There's no reason to bring this up. He didn't even bring up when listing off reasons on why Sanji cooks. He didn't say anything about Zeph and Sanji's cooking abilities. I'm free. Sorry, I got a little heated there. I'm just saying he didn't bring up Zeph at all when talking about Sanji's cooking. He legit did not read the story. He literally did not read the Zori. Meme spice. This is aggravating. Slightly painful. Slightly painful to listen to. Just slightly.
she gets what she wants from her hunger pangs or anything like that, so in a vacuum, the idea is still ass. And as it turns out, Chiffon ends up being wrong in saying that Big Mom can't be stopped on her one-man mission in getting the cake. Big Mom ends up being conveniently sidetracked during her chase when she stops at Nuts Island for no reason, which is after the point in time where she gets info from Brûlé talking about where the Strats are going to be going. It would have been a better idea to make the justification for stopping.
Didn't Pero Sparrow say that Straw Hat was in Nuts Island? Like, if I remember this.
That one I'm honestly drawing a blank on because again, she's not a rampage, so she can just end up anywhere.
Pero Sparrow. Big Mom was on the rampage because her wedding cake.
Pero Sparrow lied about the Straw Hats having the cake.
Yes, and she went to Nuts Island after that dialogue. Which
I think probably because it's like the closest island, so she just went there.
I'll look it up. I'll try to look it up quickly. A little embarrassing to say stuff like this and not know what's going on in the story. Oh well.
No, because I don't really see much of an issue with Big Mom going to one of her own islands.
Yeah. That, yeah.
Incapacitated every time she gets what she wants from her hunger pangs or anything like that, so in a vacuum, the idea is still ass. And as it turns out, Chiffon ends up being wrong in saying that Big Mom can't be stopped on her one-man mission in getting the cake. Big Mom ends up being conveniently sidetracked during her chase when she stops at Nuts Island for no reason, which is after the point in time where she gets info from Brûlé talking about where the Strats are going to be going. It would have been a better idea to make the justification for stopping Big Mom and the Strats agreeing to make the cake entirely linked to Sanji's promise of knocking Big Mom unconscious. If no one gets creme brulee,
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention there. I'm just looking at the story. I just want to get my piece when I can. I should really not do this in the middle of a review, but whatever. Getting sidetracked. We all get a little sidetracked. You know what I mean? Oh wow, that was a cut.
talking about where the Strats are going to be going. It would have been a better idea to make the justification for stopping Big Mom and the Strats agreeing to make the cake entirely linked to Sanji's promise of knocking Big Mom unconscious. If no one is able to physically step up to Big Mom, beating her from the inside with food is a pretty good idea, but that's not how the situation is sold. Oda continues to fail at writing 101. So, we established
Wait,
Sanji
no, yes
leaves.
it was. I'm still looking at the pages, so I didn't. Yeah, I'm gonna just drop the phone now.
Agreeing to make the cake entirely linked to Sanji's promise of knocking Big Mom unconscious. If no one is able to physically step up to Big Mom, beating her from the inside with food is a pretty good idea.
They say to knock her out with flavor. Yes, they did say that. You think he remembers that? Apparently he did not. If he is doing a series saying it was bad, yes, you should know that. That's literally the story. I'm guessing I'm not one to complain, considering I forget the reason why she went to Nuts Island, but at least I know that from the story. So I guess it cancel each other's out.
To physically step up to Big Mom, beating her from the inside with food is a pretty good idea, but that's not how the situation is sold. Oda continues to fail at writing 101. So, we established Sanji leaving for this cake has a pretty weak foundation, but it did have some potential because Sanji flew away with Pudding, the arc.
Also, he was the only other person that knew how to make the wedding cake was
Well, it's a head chef, and he's knocked out currently.
yes, and Sanji with his very good cooking skills that he got from whatever his name was, because apparently he doesn't exist, and he doesn't actually have to exist when he's talking about cooking. He figured out the ingredients just by looking at the cake, so he's effectively indispensable when making the cake. How does it fail? He just says it does. Yeah, he just says it does. I mean, how is he supposed to prove something that doesn't exist? I'll say this. It doesn't say it, so how should he prove that they didn't say it? I'll just say that. I mean, I'll say that, but the actual counter argument is they actually do say it, and Dretz didn't read the story.
Foundation, but it did have some potential because Sanji flew away with Pudding, the Arc Princess, which means that there are a number of things that could happen to create some intrigue.
Now, he said the Arc Princess. Is the reason that Sanji flew away with Pudding is that she's the Arc Princess? Because I think that's what he's trying to imply there. I'm just saying that because Dritz is very dumb and shallow. Oh, he's definitely a shallow, calling women hoes and freaking Smoothie a lesbian for some reason. I don't. Whatever.
She served the lady a drink
Yeah, a drink,
of giraffe.
lady, and a giraffe.
No. The giraffe was the drink. Remember, she was squeezing that thing dry.
Also, the lady who stabbed like four, the Well, I don't remember the exact reason, but she was a criminal, and Smoothie rang her out and drank her fluids. So I'm guessing that's why. But
Oh
when
yeah, I forgot about her for a second. What the heck is people juice?
what they don't really explain what happens when she rings people out with her ring fruits. So I'm guessing it's some sort of soul. Cause is she a
Their life force,
cannibal?
maybe?
Life force. They're some sort of essence. Like, well, maybe it's a specific liquid that the devil fruit does to the person's body. You know, like how. Well, I don't really have a direct correlation, but like with Logias, how they're able to make magma and turn themselves into magma. With her paramecia, she's able to turn people into a specific flavor. Like they have an innate flavor to them for some reason, and Smoothie's just uh, wringing their innate flavor out of them. Well, it's an interesting devil fruit. It's also kind of a bad devil fruit. Kind of.
Honestly, it reminds me of this is gonna be like the most randomest thing to bring up now all of a sudden, but there was a character in a show called That's So Raven. He was called the Juicer because whatever he squeezed, he can wring juice out of it no matter what.
Is the smoothie based off of the juicer? Question mark. Was
Maybe.
was he was Oda a fan of That So Raven and wanted to pay inspiration with the juicer?
Well, that's the only thing I can think of for someone who could just squeeze juice out of anything.
Man was really getting stuff. Well, I think it's he either thought of the Della fruits or smoothie before they made each other. So hey,
It does make me
we
curious
got
in Oda's
this
thought process for characters.
we got this character named Smoothie. What should we do with her? And we're like, oh, let's make her have a paramecia where she's able to wring anything and turn their fluids, some sort of fluid out of them into like a drink. Like, Oda, what the hell are you smoking? His editors go like, Oda, what the hell is this character? Something, whatever. There's something in my nose. Anyway, back to the video.
Which means that there are a number of things that could happen to create some intrigue. The baking of the cake could serve as a plot device to deliver greater things. On multiple occasions, Oda hypes up Sanji baking this cake. He even goes so far as to end 2 chapters with the exact same panel of Sanji hyping the cake. Needless to say, there are some expectations for something to happen in this plotline.
Kelley Blue Book is your trusted
he did the
pricing,
Oda face,
fixing, and
the
instant
face
cash offer
Oda
in car
face-
shop.
Fuck
KBB.
this man.
Wait, did he? What chapters were they?
There are some expectations for something to happen in this plotline.
Come on, Dritz, this should be the easiest way to provide an example. Just show the chapter numbers.
There should be something. He shows Oda's face because there's nothing. He doesn't have to explain it since he showed Oda's face.
To end 2 chapters with the exact same panel of Sanji hyping the cake. Needless to say, there are some expectations for something to happen in this plotline. As a
Alright. He doesn't remember it, or he actively refused to bring it up because, well, Sparrow says something about if the cake's not good enough, then Big Bob will still be on the rampage. So the story's saying, well, at least some people are saying, man, I sound very lazily right now. The story's saying that putting into question Sanji's ability to cook the cake. At least Sparrow and the Big Mom Pirates. Not to mention, he didn't bring it up yet, or maybe at all, but they intend to poison the cake.
Yeah, Beige wanted to poison it so he could try to kill Big Mom, and then Sanji definitely said he whole stopped that idea. He's like, "Don't you dare taint the food."
Zeph told me not to waste food.
Well, you can't waste any more food than by poisoning it.
His ideals as a chef do not allow him to tamper with the food like that. That's the character conflict. Oh, well, also, would the poison per se actually kill Big Mom? Because in Wano, she got hit with like 1,000. Okay, not 1,000, but a lot of
High chance.
tranquilizers. Remember when?
Yeah, I remember that. So there's a high chance the poison might not have worked. Well, it depends on the amount of poison Beige was going to put in.
And the effectiveness of the poison, because well, with Luffy was immune to
Well, he gained some immunities thanks to all the poisons he encountered.
and then the rock, or was it pebble, whatever, the rock fish with the poisonous skin, and that was able to do damage to Luffy. So if they do like some like,
Well, I want to say that's because he was ingesting it, which is a bit different from actually being like when being like stung or something.
but he breathed in Caesar's poison, so when he fought Caesar for the first time, he breathed in Caesar's poison in his gas.
But also immediately expelled it through his ears somehow.
I think it's just a visual gag to show that he has an immunity to poison. But nevertheless,
Possible.
it's possible. Oh no, I mean, it's possible the poison wouldn't work.
General rule of thumb to most storytelling: for the plot to work, you need to introduce conflict or drama to make it interesting. And for an idea as inherently boring as a cake, you should expect something interesting to happen with it. This cake was used to separate Sanji from the Straw Hats after all.
Why did he show that scene in Arlong Park? Question mark. Oh, you see this man destroying this building? Oh, that's so cool. Much cooler than a guy making a cake, I think. Yeah, he also did another Oda flash. Yeah, Dritz did not improve at all. I wouldn't say he regressed, but he's still using the Oda faces, which is like...
Has he gotten better since part 1?
He didn't. He didn't use the Oda face in part 2, but he's using it now in part 3, so... Did he technically regress? Or is it because he didn't have a chance to use the faces because it was a shorter video? He still uses the wrong Oda picture? Really? 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 Ugh, my voice.
Something interesting to happen.
Isn't this Oda? I mean, I don't really know Oda's face, but it is. I am talking about the Zelda guy. That's not him. His teeth doesn't look the same. And he has a darker skin complexion. Though that depends on which time both pictures were taken. But he did use the Zelda guy previously in the video. I'm talking about this image here that you see on screen, hopefully. It's this guy here, not Oda. talking about. Yeah, as I thought, you were talking about the other image.
Happen with it. This cake was used to separate Sanji from the Straw Hats after all, so it needs to amount to something. Once Sanji and Pudding arrive in Chocolate Town, the entire sequence is a string of poorly constructed comedy scenes where they all bake the cake with no problem whatsoever.
Alright, this is a good enough time to bring that scene up. I mean, this is
So is he just forgetting that Pudding kind of just like memory wiped them?
You mean the Straw Hats?
Or is he just no, like Pudding, like to have all those chefs helping out, Pudding like erased bits of their memory.
He didn't bring that up, so I don't know how he feels about that.
Well, it's because he said he had issue with like how they're having no problems baking the cake.
Did he now?
Pudding arrive in Chocolate Town.
Oh wait, yeah, he definitely did. Well, it wasn't an issue for Pudding. That moment specifically wasn't an issue, but Pound trying to meet with Chiffon.
But yeah, they had issues after trying to transport the cake afterwards. Making it was the easy part. Transporting it was more difficult.
Yeah, since Oven tried to deal with Fire Take Pirates and Sanji and Chiffon, traitors to the Big Mom Pirates.
The entire sequence is a string of poorly constructed comedy scenes where they all bake the cake with no problem whatsoever. Sanji
Coronation Starscream. This is bad comedy.
This is bad comedy. Oh, I can't do that right now. That wasn't worth the gag. I apologize for that waste of time.
Leonard Nimoy's voice is just hard to replicate in general.
This is just bad comedy. This is just bad comedy. Definitely at this time of day, when I don't have any water, and I've been speaking for the past 2 hours. Nevertheless, them baking the cake may not have been an issue, but everything else about the cake was an issue. Also, maybe there was an issue with the cake baking because something with Pound.
He was trying to stop them a bunch of times once they left.
I'm saying Pound was about to reveal their location because this was concealed. Something about not wanting to be found. I remember something about not wanting to be found out. That's why Pudding erases the chef's memory. But Pound was knocking on the door because there was people outside wondering what Pudding was doing. And something Pound knew Chiffon was there and wanted to talk to Chiffon. And Oven also wanted to talk to Chiffon and Pudding. And so if Oven found out what Pound was doing, then inadvertently he would be halting the process of making the cake. I'm pretty sure that happened, but I might be getting it wrong on the timeline. Oh, sorry, Bean Spice. How about them trying to stop Big Mom eating the cake because they think it is poisoned? Alright, yeah, the Oven was there. Yes, Oven. Oh, yeah. They were hiding from Oven. Yeah, I forgot about that. They were also hiding from Oven. Yeah, they had to hide Sanji to and fro the baking lab. I guess it's some sort of baking lab with all that, or maybe just some sort of super kitchen. But whatever.
comedy scenes where they all bake the cake with no problem whatsoever. Sanji's main cooking highlight is some cream he made off screen, and the fact that he could smell the ingredients on the original cake. So after they're done baking the cake, they try transporting it so it can be put on.
He's good at making the cake without even knowing the ingredients of the cake. I'm pretty sure they said that. I know they say that in the anime, but if they didn't say that in the manga, then, well, I guess my argument kind of flops, but they did say or spell out that Sanji didn't know the ingredients of the special cream. Well, whatever.
I thought special cream was his own making.
There was the head chef had a special whipped cream that he made, and he was the only one that knew how to make it. But Sanji was able to replicate it just off of the smell. Oh, it said it right here. It says it right here. The fresh cream is Sanji's secret ingredient. The true essence of sweetness. I want to try to. Okay, it didn't say it here, but they did say that. I would like to know his name.
So what you're saying is pudding wants Sanji's cream.
Yes.
It's on the original cake. So after they're done baking the cake, they try transporting it so it can be put onto the ship. Oven's on the island and he jumps in and grabs Chiffon and starts slapping her around because she's a traitor to the family. Sanji spends some time debating internally if he should do something or let Chiffon slide. During the time that Sanji's thinking, Pound comes in and provides an opportunity for Sanji to help without being seen. If this were any other character in the series, there would be absolutely nothing wrong with this scene, but once again, because it's Sanji, this scene does end up posing a bit of a problem.
What is
If
Drizzt?
Nami, Pudding, Viola, Vivi, or any other hot chick were in this exact scenario.
Is that the reason? I'm pretty sure he did bring this up in the first part, but Drizzt, you do not get Sanji's character. The reason is...
Do you think Sanji would stop to weigh his options? Twiddle his thumbs? Or would Sanji throw himself into the fray, his identity be damned, and get shiesty with it?
The reason is there was other people with him that would be in trouble. Not to mention the cake would be in danger because Sanji's with the cake. There's a bigger issue here. And at every other moment, he stopped what he was doing because everyone else can handle themselves.
Yeah, again, he really likes to compare apples to oranges when it comes to certain situations.
It's not that. Jesus Christ. I just brought up Treasure Cruise and got to do all these things again. What's his name again? His name was... Fuck, it's not here. Did I delete him? Oh, forget this. Try to look up his goddamn name in a mobile game. Oh, fuck you.
Who you looking up?
Pound is cool. No, he didn't say Pound wasn't cool. Not yet, anyways. Yeah, you thought he was talking about Pound? No, he's not talking about Pound yet.
It's more Sanji slander.
That is literally slander. You thought he should have died at the end of Whole Cake? Yeah. It would be a very sad end. But...
No, I'm trying to think, like, how does he survive literally Oven attacking him about to behead him? How does he survive that?
How did Pell survive getting atomized?
I want to say a shockwave blew him away. I can at least believe something as ridiculous as that. When I see an off-screen beheading, I am not expecting them to return.
But Pell got atomized. Nah, I'm not.
No, we technically never see on-screen atomization. You only see a lot. Usually that fade out whenever like someone's trying, when it looks like they're being atomized, which also could just be same as them being blown away by something.
I mean, to be fair, anyone hit by Kizaru's beam should be atomized, but they usually just get blown away. So
Well, no, he does a lot of concentration shots that go right through them. And then whenever it hits like a bigger target, like the tree stalks, then it explodes.
yeah, there's a thing. Shouldn't anything that get touched by the beam just get blown through? I guess.
I
I
think it's just
guess.
like the amount of energy it builds up.
I guess there was a lot of matter in like a tree or building, so the light, the lights, specifically the lights, slow down enough for the molecules to catch up and react to the atom crashing. Oh shit, the atom crashing. Should the explosions be that big? Because effectively, that's just an atom crash, and we know what happens when atom crash into each other.
But boom.
So, yeah, Kizaru was pretty deadly. They really, Oda really nerfed that living hell out of the blink blink fruits. But Kizaru's personality, the actual abilities of light speed, it kind of cancel itself out. It's not that drastic of a nerf, I would say. And his name is Strusen. I found him in the mobile game.
Ah, I knew it had to be something food related.
I knew it started with an S. I just forgot. But I would say I was happy that he lived because I like Pound. Yeah, Pound was chillin'. Pound was chillin', and then his son tried to kill him, and then he died by his other son.
Did they ever explain why he was like a giant head and hands, but then shrunk down all of a sudden?
No, I think that's his actual character, because he's still looked
No.
at in Big Mom's in his flashback with Big Mom. And let me look that up.
Are you sure? Because I'm looking at them next to the straw hats, and they are tiny.
He has a he could just be he could just be a size inconsistencies. It's not it's not uncommon, but it could just be a size inconsistency.
Ba-da-ba-da. Avoid copyright.
Jesus, if this wasn't already copyrighted before.
Big Mom still had a decent figure.
She got a snaz though. I guess some things don't really fade away through aging.
Where do you think Broly got her nose from?
I think it's well, not her mom or dad, so. Oh shit! Big Mom got them shark teeth. Whatever. Pound was always huge. That's what I was trying to show.
I
Though,
understand he's huge, but when his introduction, it made him like almost 10 times as huge.
like I say, it's a size inconsistency. Oh, I didn't even. Yeah, there. That does not look that. It looks very inconsistent. He just a. All I got is a size inconsistent. His size was inconsistent.
Isn't it rather convenient that Sanji stopped and thought about it when the person in danger was Chiffon?
So you showed that clip from Punk Hazard, and that's it. Is that all you got? Because I can easily The rebuttal here is that everyone else didn't need saving, so he was able to save. Whatever.
There was currently
I don't know if
nothing
it's
going on for him to be at risk for him exposing himself. Sanji was already in disguise, at least with Dressrosa, when he went to help Viola, or at least when Viola went to him.
Yeah, you could have done from Dressrosa.
But since
Dressrosa
yeah,
had
but since Sanji is such a public figure already known around Whole Cake, him doing anything would be suspicious and reveal him.
This man's an idiot.
damned and get shisty with it? Isn't it rather convenient that Sanji stopped and thought about it when the person in danger was Chiffon? I don't know if it's intentional from Oda here to make a commentary on the possibility of Sanji's bias towards certain women. It comes off that way, which isn't a good look for Sanji's chivalry, but I wish Oda didn't do this. A lot of you probably didn't even think about this until I brought it up, but
Because it doesn't exist. That's about it.
now that I brought it up, doesn't the scene stand out amongst others?
No, it doesn't.
At the end of the day, Sanji
Oh, no,
does...
it does. Because Sanji was cornered between two options. So yes, this is a unique situation for Sanji. You are right, Dritz.
end up helping, but I think a question on this is pretty necessary. Following this, Sanji does something in the midst of this that he hasn't done for the entirety of the post-time skip.
Meme Spice, you know where I'm about to pull up. Meme Spice? Well, nevertheless, I was doing my homework. Oh, did you not hear what Dritz said, Meme Spice?
I think a question on this is pretty necessary.
Oh, you heard it?
Following this, Sanji does something in the midst of this that he hasn't done for the entirety of the post-time skip, or the story. Sanji moves so fast that he is able to kick Oven without him even knowing who did it, or any citizen seeing his movement.
Now, I've been doing my homework, and I found one other instance, because, technically I would just need one other instance, but I could find a few others, of Sanji doing something similar to this beforehand. It was right here. You can see that you can see that one of the fire tank pirates has his rifle taken from Sanji, and considering how it was laid out, it was supposed to be a very fast, near instant grab of his rifle. And
Oh, well, that's a grab, not a kick.
and even Caesar's reaction should say something about the speed. So yeah, I got one step up from Dritz in the middle of the video. Not too shabby. I did my homework. Dritz sucks.
And then rescues Chiffon and carries on about his day. No one knew Sanji was this fast, he's never revealed it before. Sanji didn't do it against Dofi, Virgo, or any of the people that might warrant using his real speed. And he also didn't do it at the tea party when he was trying to protect Pudding or save his family. Convenient.
So
and
is he saying he
inconsistent.
should have done it?
He should have done it before, but he did do it before. Like it just showed.
Regardless if Pound did or did not enter?
Yes, he should have done this. He should have done it regardless of Pound. Even though I just said every other instance is everyone else being able to save themselves. Because if Sanji did that right in the open, Alvin would get suspicious, maybe even see Sanji coming, and then counter him, and then so on, so on. Pound was the perfect cover to keep his identity hidden, but apparently Sanji not well, Sanji not being blinded by his chivalry at this moment is a bad thing. Even though every other instance he did something like this, it's he did it, but everyone else was okay. He did everyone else wasn't in danger. If Sanji just went out there to save Shifan, people would be in danger. But Dritz doesn't realize that.
No, he's also forgetting that all the attention is drawn on Pound right now.
But but here's the thing: he should have tried to save Shifan regardless if Pound was about to come in. That's the point he's trying to make.
Sanji finished to save his family. Convenient and inconsistent. Sanji finishes creaming up the cake and leaves it to
It is a little inconsistent, but you could say his speed was being negated thanks to Daifugu's genie, which no, I wouldn't exactly say that, but it's a possibility.
Pone. At this point, Luffy vs. Katakuri is fully underway. Sanji says for around the third or fourth time that this cake will definitely stop Big Mom. And then there's a panel where Luffy and Sanji are both saying at the same time that they'll succeed because people believe in them. So, Luffy's struggle against Katakuri is being compared to Sanji's role in baking the cake. Pretty close comparison, right?
Alright, this is my fourth tap of this video. Mr. Hypocrisy here really got me on the edge. Oh, freaking piss, baby. Big fight moment. No, big fight moment. No, like Sanji saving crew from Big Mom. Big Mom no fighty Sanji. Sanji need make cake. Big cake dum dum. No action, no drama, no suspense. He's not fight moment drama. Action fight moment. Big cake no cool. Should be relegated for cooking manga. Big meathead. It's not like both are equally. No. I would say Big Mom is more important than stopping Katakuri, but that would be a little unfair because Katakuri is kind of a direct in the now type of issue, while stopping Big Mom is a little spontaneous, but you know what I meant. They're both very important. And apparently Sanji trying to stop Big Mom with a cake is such a big departure from Luffy fighting off Katakuri from killing the Straw Hats. This guy's pathetic.
Sanji meets back up with the rest of the Straw Hats, and everyone knows at this point that the Big Mom Pirates also know about the plan for Luffy to appear in Chocolate Town. And everyone's like, oh no, what are we gonna do? How do we rescue Luffy? Sanji responds by saying that there's only one plan he can think of. A couple chapters later, as Sanji is flying with Pudding, Sanji says that he's definitely going to save his captain.
Yeah, superhero was alright. I just wanted to. He's alright.
I still think it's bad.
No character felt betrayed, so I'll give it. Well, I'm not saying the other movies betrayed anyone's character, but that's the bare minimum I give for anything related to Toriyama.
I just can't look past that a small child invented creatures that are on the levels of Saiyan Blue.
He's not a small child. He's like in his 30s.
I thought he was a kid. He looked like a kid.
Nope. He's like, I think he's older than Trunks. You know, Trunks from the Cell Saga Trunks. That Trunks. Older than Cell Saga Trunks.
He was 14.
Yeah, wait. He was 14? I thought it was like 16 or like 20. 16 minimum. So
No,
16 years old was like.
he was very young. Because remember, because remember, 13-year-old Trunks from the future, from the Trunks' timeline, looks very different from 13-year-old Trunks of
Current
Dragon Ball
timeline.
Super.
Yeah. When
Because Toriyama was too lazy to think up an older design for them.
and Dragon Ball Super Trunks looks younger than end of Dragon Ball Z Trunks, which is also interesting.
He may have been at least like 17, thanks to all the time he was training and the hyperbolic time chamber.
No, Jirma saved Luffy and Sanji, so Sanji did not save. Yeah, that's what he's saying. That's the point of this funny clip of this guy laughing because Sanji didn't save Luffy, and so Sanji failed as a character, and he sucks, and no one should like Sanji ever because he sucks, and Sanji bad guy because he did all that cooking. You know, he did some cooking instead of fighting people. He's a bad character. Something. Paraphrasing what Tritz thinks.
One plan he can think of. A couple chapters later, as Sanji is flying with Pudding, Sanji says that he's definitely going to save his captain. After Luffy comes out on top against Cap, he's coming out of the mirror with Peckham's, and the moment is here. The same dude who the fanbase calls Mr. Prince. The same dude who foiled Crocodile twice.
He referred to himself as Mr. Prince. I don't know why he said it like that, but
The same dude who thought ahead and opened the gates of justice in Enies lobby. Sanji's plan is to grab Luffy as he's jumping out of the mirror and skywalk away. This is it. The master plan.
Well, do you have a better plan, Drix?
No, because it's a bad plan. Because it failed. Therefore, it's bad. It's bad because...
Then present alternatives. Whenever you see something bad, you present alternatives. You don't just say this is bad.
It's bad because it didn't work. Because Sanji's dumb, I guess. What else he could do? Well, he could use his... He could have used super speed when he had Luffy in his arms.
Well, but then again, his speed could be drastically reduced now that he's carrying someone. Because remember, for Chiffon, he only had to do one small sprint. For Luffy, he has to run across the entire island back to the ocean and onto the Sunny.
It's possible, but the fact that this is a conversation is vastly better than whatever the hell Dritz is gonna do. Than flat out saying it's bad. What else could he do? The thing was surrounded by big mom pirates. Yeah. It was inherently an uphill battle for Sanji. So what was he gonna do? Him being the strongest character in the Straw Hat? Well, the fastest at the very least, because Jinbei is a Straw Hat. But yeah.
This is it. The master plan. The only thing Sanji could think of while on the way to Chocolate Town. He sat waiting for Luffy for a period of time just for this moment. What? This is a Luffy level plan coming from someone that's historically not as stupid as Luffy. This being Sanji's plan is not something I'd have on my...
To be fair, the stuff that you brought up about the Sanji plans that you brought up aren't exactly some big brain stuff. So it may have failed, but it's not anything like super creative or very huge strategy or something. It's not that impressive what Sanji did. It's good, but it's not some
He opened the
high.
gates, and
He used some guy as the fake Mr. Prince. He distracted Crocodile and Miss All Sunday by using one of their guards as a decoy. Oh, and Chopper as a decoy. It's good, but it's not that smart. Come on.
it's a decent plan, yeah. But like, I'm trying to think of there are only a few guards there, and there's a literal island of angry people.
Some bums that Sanji can just whip out his kneecaps and shove it down their throats. That's a weird image I put in someone's mind. Wow.
Okay, but what about all the people like Oven or Daifugu?
They had Big Mom's children, which are known to, which are which are named characters. I'll say that they're named characters, so they're at
Well,
least stronger than some average goons.
I want to say like 50% of them are named. Other times they're just, eh.
I'm pretty sure one of them was named Raisin. I don't know. One of them is named Raisin, and he had.
I say eh because she has like 2 sets of dectuplets, and they all look the same. I understand they're dectuplets, but like, eh, the design could have been touched up more.
The novelty is that they're dectuplets. There's 5 sets of 2 genders, which compose the dectuplets. Since dectuplets means 10 children.
Because sworn she had like two sets of 10 children.
Jeez, no, that's not. 20 children, 10 of which are boys and 10 of girls that look the same. That'll be a little much, but no, it was 5 boys, 5 girls that compose 1 dectuplet.
Okay.
What? This is a Luffy level plan coming from someone that's historically not as stupid as Luffy. This being Sanji's plan is not something I'd have on my bingo card for Whole Cake Island. But hold on. The last time we saw Sanji against Oven, he was moving super fast, right? Remember that? Maybe this simple plan is actually better because Sanji's recently picked up a part-time job as the Flash. Wrong!
Jesus
Sanji
Christ.
grabs Luffy and begins to slowly skywalk away.
Well, I should know observation hockey, so unless he's faster than the observation hockey, getting out of their line of sight or hockey's availability of sight, this is pretty much the best option he could do. If he can't super speed his way to the sunny. Which I say he could have. He might. He might.
No super speed. Nothing. A random Big Mom pirate called Yuan mocks Sanji in the air, says that anyone can skywalk, and then knocks Sanji to the ground, where the rest of the Big Mom pirates surround him, point guns at them, and Sanji responds by saying, "Aw shit, we're screwed." But I hear you say, surely this is all a bait. Sanji will pull through and make good on something, right? He said he'd save us captain. This can't be the end. Sanji is gonna end up goated somehow. Goda!
He really doesn't like One Piece. Because who would bring up, well, if you couldn't tell from that still image, dick riding mentality in a video like this. Oh, your internet's taking dead Rex. You tap? That's understandable. Because well, what he's doing is painting people who think Sanji could make it out of the situation as overzealous and overtrustworthy fanboys, which may be, but an argument is still an argument. If they can back up their argument, well, what can I say? You're not just a blind fanboy. At least you're trying to support your theory, unlike you, Dritz, which literally bring out stuff out of nowhere. Internet's tanking. Well, nevertheless.
I think I gotta go. My internet's really tanking right now.
Oh, I can hear you now.
And who knows how long that's gonna be stable for.
It's fine. I maybe not. Oh, whatever.
Sanji
Well, it's
is
hard
going
to
to
be
end
part
up
of the video
goaded.
when even the video itself is also cutting in and out.
Oh, so you're tapping Meme Spice, huh? Well, alright. Let's just get to a decent. Well, just let me find a decent. Well, let me find a spot I think is decent, and then we can stop.
Somehow. Goda! Wrong! Germa shows up to save the day and makes Sanji look like a complete bitch. They drop in, stop Sanji from getting shot to death, tell him to get lost, then Sanji starts running away. He gets hit by regular bullets, the worst weapon in the game, only viable on flashback DLC. Oven shows up and is about to attack him. Ichiji comes and saves the day. Sanji jumps into the air. Yuan is there again, about to hit him, when Yonji, the dude that Sanji low-diffed earlier in the arc, destroys Yuan's weapon to save Sanji. Some people pop out of the water just because, why not? And they're about to shoot Sanji. And then Niji comes in, grabbing both Sanji and Luffy. And Niji tells Sanji
Yeah, I probably should have stopped here. He's going on this tirade.
that if he's that slow, he'll never get away.
Back here with Roger.
Niji zooms through all the combatants, slides a fucking raid suit into Sanji's pocket, throws him to safety while saying later, get good. This is how Sanji gets away. This is what his master plan led to. But no, we're not finished.
Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Sorry about that, Meme Spice. Maybe I should rewind that so I can something or other, but whatever. I'll just rewind it. I didn't expect a tirade.
Be the end.
Probably should have expected a tirade from how much he's been dick destroying in the bad way, Sanji. So I guess that'll be the end of the video.